What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. And we're at allthingscomedy.com. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher. Somebody else told me last week that I'm on this other thing on iTunes, and I don't know what it is. I gotta look it up. He said, FYI, you're on iTunes, yada, yada, yada. I don't know what it is. And, but yeah, we're on that other iTunes thing. So people who are more technical than me can be like, you're on iTunes, so-and-so idiot, so you know what it is. Also, this podcast is available for your viewing pleasure at YouTube. Go to Ian Edwards or Ian Soccer Comic Rant Edwards page, and you can watch it there. And when you watch it there, you can see me rocking a sweater from the sponsor. And this is the OTV shirt, and this is on thevolleyapparel.com. And if you go there, they got sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, tank tops in men's and women's, all sizes. And you could pick out something, a little something for yourself, or a few little somethings for yourselves. And they can also outfit your local team, you know, so you could look good winning also. So go to onthevolleyapparel.com, use my promo code ComicRant. It's 20% off, and lace yourself with some shit. And my co-host for the evening is Martin Harris. What up, Martin?
Hey, good to see you.
Comic, actor, journalist, sports journalist, basketball player you can see him playing basketball at the 24-hour fitness on Hollywood.
Fitness.
LA Fitness. Where's your LA Fitness at?
Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood Boulevard. There's a LA Fitness on Hollywood Boulevard?
Yeah, there is. And they have actually a lot of homeless people recently just coming and playing basketball.
Oh, so they're getting in shape. That's cool. They're going to start a league?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. That's cool. That means they're eating.
Some of them stay actually, because I know that. Like people who works, I can tell they're not watching. They're probably, most of them are actors just trying to, it's a temp job for them. So they don't see that some of those homeless guys they stay past working hours and they sleep there.
Oh, I know somebody
inside,
else that goes there, and they say, yeah, there's these two women, and they're just always on their computers. And they spend the night.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to figure out homelessness, and some people figure it out better than others. And it's like, all right, that guy got a gym pass. I don't know, how much is it for the year?
I don't think they even have a gym pass. So
How'd they get in?
Sneak in.
I mean, do you guys, like at 24-hour fitness, there's a keypad. You punch in your phone number, then they scan your finger, then they take an eye print, and then they send it somewhere, and then it comes back, and then you pee in a cup, and then they run that, and then 5 hours later you could work out there after everything goes through. Yeah,
that's a much better
good system.
That's a very good system. Yeah.
Solid system. It's me for sure.
Yeah, but the thing is that you know who is homeless, who isn't homeless, and it's right now the ratio is like 50-50.
Of homelessness? Like, what time are you going?
I try to go around noon because then around between 4 and if I don't work, but between 4 and 7 so-called ballers show up, like guys with attitude that they think they should be like professional players. So there's a little bit too much intensity, I would say. And then after 7 p.m. a lot of crazy people show up sometimes. Yeah.
So arrogant people from 4 to 7, homeless people from 7 on.
And early as well.
All right.
Depends.
It's a good.
But some of them improve.
Sounds like a very eclectic. So the homeless people have improved.
I see one guy who I see him as a homeless guy as well, sometimes on the streets.
He might
he
not
comes
be.
to the gym.
Oh, you seen him on the streets?
Yeah, I see him on the streets. Plus, he talks to himself all the time. But
about the game, that's people do that.
He started coming like 6 months ago, and he developed a pretty good jumper. Right now,
it's funny.
You have to actually guard him.
Before you didn't.
No, before he was making weird sounds, so people were treating him like a little bit as a.
But now his shot's so good, you have to guard him.
Yeah, you actually have to.
Sounds or no sounds.
You can actually, if he's on your team, he still won't defend anybody, but he can make shots. Yeah.
All right. Cheers to him.
Yeah.
I mean, here's to you know.
You can always improve, even if you're
Life
homeless.
hack.
There are things you can improve in your life. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I used to love playing basketball, and it was a lot of fun. I looked forward to it. It was like a big part of my day. So if you're homeless and you find some shit that you love and that you enjoy, then fuck it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I play since I moved here 11 years ago. I played basketball there for 11 years, and I met some interesting characters. The guy from Hunger Games, the lead guy, nobody recognized him, by the way. He was playing a lot there for a while.
Which lead guy? The short lead guy?
The short
or
lead guy.
The tall,
very
handsome
feisty.
one?
No, the short one.
Oh, the one. Okay.
Josh Hutcherson, I think. Is his name. He was playing there all the time. And the guy, that's actually
before Hunger Games or during Hunger Games?
Even during Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah?
People still didn't recognize him because he was very small and he just looked like a regular kid.
I guess that was an understated role. So unless you see him on the
No.
red carpet, actually with Jennifer Lawrence, then you can't really. Oh, that's the dude.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Pull that mic closer.
Oh, pull it closer. Oh, sorry.
Martin.
Martin.
Okay. And he was very feisty, so people are trying to even fight with him a little bit. And I was like telling him, hey, do you know what this guy is?
I think he was practicing for the role. His feisty is how you survive on Hunger Games.
And he did.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah, that 20 LA. So everybody, that's a great ad for LA Fitness. If you want to survive the Hunger Games, go there, play basketball. It's great training, and you'll live in the movie.
And you know who else played basketball there a lot? Actually, we're on the same team several times. And I remember once I hit the game winner, and he gave me a big hug. The guy from Glee, who was then accused of being collecting child pornography, and he hanged himself when it came out in the news. He hanged himself. He was one of the leads of this TV show Glee, like the guy with the mohawk.
Well, this conversation took a turn. All right. Maybe we should just get to some soccer. So it's international week.
International week.
The clubs are all. God damn, Martin. I mean, I had no idea. All right. God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, things happen.
Things happen. Yeah, hilarious. Exactly. So what games did you see, or what games in international week that you want to talk about?
Well, of course, I've seen both Poland games, but let's start, I think, with England.
All right, let's start with England, yeah. Since we do the Premiership, let's start with England.
Let's start with England because a lot of good things are happening with English football in general. Like, you can see the results. It was sort of hanging in the air for the last couple of years. People were thinking, why Premier League? So much money and the clubs are not doing well in the Champions League, and why national team is underachieving. And this is the year where you have 4 English teams in top 8 of the Champions League and still going strong.
Right.
And English national team was just in top 4 of the World Cup for the first time since 1990. And
so we're in the top. Why is Belgium ahead of France? Isn't that disrespectful? Why did FIFA rank Belgium number 1 ahead of France, who won the World Cup?
I mean, it's all based on results. So I guess they just won more friendly games or more
the result
qualifying
is
games.
France won the World Cup.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So you don't.
And they finished second in Euro 2016. So technically they're the best team. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And almost won that final because remember Gignac scored, hit the post in the overtime.
Right. So yeah. I'm just watching the highlights of England versus who is this? Montenegro, and because you saw the game, I didn't see. I thought this game was going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so tell me more about England. So first of all, we played Czech Republic and we beat them 5-0.
Yeah.
And that was an impressive. Even though some of the goals were kind of janky, like even Sterling's, the hat trick, like the shot ricocheted off somebody and went into the net. But you got to take it. You took the shot, and they win 5-0. Sterling got it felt like it's 3 goals they count, but it's like really like 1.5 because something happened with one of the other goals, and I think he earned a penalty and Kane took it. But it's just England's Southgate went from being like the least wanted appointed coach in the history of British soccer to like, we love this guy. Like when they appointed him, I was like, what are we doing? But now, who was the coach before him?
Big Sam.
Big Sam. I want to thank Big Sam for being corrupt and for taking payola and getting the boot so that they could hire the worst person I would think you could for the job so that he could prove me wrong, because he did amazing in the World Cup, and the team has grown in confidence since the World Cup because they made it to the semis. They're like, shit, we're not even at our full potential yet. We're just a bunch of young players. And this is a great time for the Premiership because they're actually playing. You could see the light at the end of the tunnel. You could see Sterling develop. You could see a bunch of right backs and left back Spurs players, and then some Man U players with Rashford and Lingard, and then there's other players coming through, like Sancho made the big move of going to Germany, and so now he's just you can see him developing at Dortmund, and so I think
Declan Rice started his first game. And he played actually 3 games for Ireland before he switched. So he's a sort of a rebound guy.
He's not a rebound guy. He just broke up with his girl. He went to England as his mistress, and he chose his mistress.
Yeah, but to move from Ireland to England, that's a big deal.
They're gonna hate him for life in Ireland.
Big deal.
He can't go back to Ireland.
No, that's a huge deal.
They hate him in Ireland more than an Irish, than a Catholic, or than an IRA member, or an IRA member hates a Protestant. But yeah, is that Declan? Did he score that? Is that Declan? See,
I can check. I don't think he scored. I think it's Harry Maguire. No.
Nah, that doesn't look like anybody. Like Declan's face, I don't have down pat. So, and if he started, and if somebody scored that I don't recognize, I'm assuming it's Declan. So we're watching the Montenegro game.
Okay, I'll tell you. No, it's Michael Keane. Michael Keane? Yeah, Michael Keane from Everton.
All right.
The central defender. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Keane. All right. Now
then
closer.
Barkley scored 2 goals, and then Kane and Sterling. By the way, it was a little bit of a scandal, which doesn't surprise me because I know the how it is in that part of the world. There were a lot of racist chants towards Sterling from the crowds.
Oh, so they played in Montenegro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was dealing with that throughout the game, and then he still had a very good game.
Yeah, because he's a top class player.
He became one. Yeah, he was heavily criticized 4 years ago, 6 years ago. Now he became really a world class type of a player, thanks to Guardiola in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways, and also it's a combination of both. I would never take the credit from Guardiola, but he had to have wanted to be. Like, he's on a team where there's so many people who could start ahead of him, and to make yourself the person that's picked every week, it takes a certain amount of determination from you. What do you think of Hudson? Is it Odoi?
Yeah.
What do you think of him? Is he as good as people are saying he is?
It's interesting because you have all those players who are technically, let's say, Chelsea players, right? And you never know how good they are because they never play.
Right.
Same situation with Loftus-Cheek for a while, right?
I think he's good.
But the same, people are saying he's good, but there was no proof in the pudding, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see them playing for England, and you see the potential. Mm-hmm. Same for a second, although it's a different story, was with Rashford when he didn't play for Mourinho at Man U, but he was playing for English national team.
Right. So
there's a lot of young talent, which shouldn't surprise because England actually won major tournaments.
Under their 20s.
Yeah. So that is really very encouraging in terms of future of English football.
But you're still not telling me what you think of Hudson-Odoi and if he's good.
Yeah, and so
that's
another example of a very talented guy that it's still too early to tell because he played a very good game today, but he needs to play for his club on a regular basis to see what he can become, because
finish.
Yeah, because definitely there is a lot of hype about him. People who've seen him on trainings and people who've seen him, in couple of performances he had, but we have to see him more.
I think he's overhyped. I think he'll be good, but the way people talk about him, I don't see that when I see him play. So sometimes I miss things, and it's not the player, it's me. But he's aggressive. He goes forward. But sometimes in England likes Brazilian-style football so much. If they see somebody go forward, even if the person loses the ball, they fall in love with the person. Like, they just are in love with aggression. So I don't know if that's what's driving all this hype or if he's really that good.
Yeah, exactly. It's too early to say. He needs to start playing for a club, probably for a different club. I know there was a major interest from several big teams, including Bayern Munich. So let's see what happens after the summer, and how his progress will continue. But as you said it, the best thing about the manager, he was fired from Middlesbrough not far time ago. So
decent amount of time.
Yeah, but he didn't have enough credentials. Then he played.
He just finished playing.
Yeah, he finished playing. No, I mean he finished playing a while ago. But then
no. When he got fired from Middlesbrough, that was his first coaching job. Yeah.
But
so he just finished being a player.
Yeah,
goes right to his. He used to play for Middlesbrough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At the end of his career,
yeah.
But at the same time, he didn't work at 3-4 different clubs before he started working with the youth national team, and he had success there.
Yeah, he learned. Like it's like Solskjaer. Solskjaer went to Cardiff. They went down. They got relegated. Same kind of story as Southgate. Like Middlesbrough got relegated.
Although he won titles in Norway, a couple of titles.
But yeah, that's what I'm going to get into next. And then he goes to Norway, and he practices his coaching style and how to make adjustments during games, knowing how to substitute people and put people in. So it's in a lower league, but you're learning how to coach. And now he's applying those practices to Man U, and with success. So, he went off our radar and learned. And then when Southgate was in coaching like the under 20s and all that stuff, the youth teams, you're kind of coaching in a place where people don't expect a lot from you, so you can try things and you can learn a lot. And he's putting those practices. Plus now he's familiar with these young players. It's the perfect time for him to be the coach of England. And
the best thing that he is taking chances.
But he better not fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far he didn't. To be top 4 in the World Cup, even with 3 losses, it's still a great result. The last manager who did it was arguably the best manager they ever had, Bobby Robson, in 1990. And I would say I'll give him the biggest credit for taking chances on young players. This is a very young squad.
He had no choice though.
Well, he can technically play all those older players who are.
They're all gone.
Or I think Anderson is still playing.
Who?
Anderson is still playing.
Anderson?
Yeah, from Liverpool, he's still playing.
Anderson.
Henderson.
No, he uses Henderson. Henderson's good.
Yeah, he's still playing, but he's not using young. Like all those Milners and.
Nah, Milner was like a backup on the generation before, but he wasn't. I like Milner now. He's pretty good actually. Like just playing for Liverpool. But listen, he came to England at a time when nobody expected anything because the generation of players before got knocked out of the World Cup before. He had to rebuild. And so then he has the chance to rebuild, and he's rebuilding, and he's doing it right because he's using all this knowledge he gained from the youth setup. What about France in the International Week?
Dominant, 2 easy wins. Arguably the best team in the world, not just because they won the World Cup, but I think still squad-wise they're the best team in the world.
Right.
However, if you talk about 3 strikers, mano to mano, comparing 3 French strikers and 3 Polish strikers, the 3 Polish strikers have the most goals in the top European leagues this season. So in attack, Poland technically has the best.
No, they don't.
The best attack in the world.
No, they don't. Yeah, in their clubs, but not on their. So this was funny to me because France played. I'm trying to see who they played. They played. Did I go too far? Fuck, where is this? Moldova.
Yeah.
Right?
And the Moldova scored like a last-minute goal, and it was celebrated by the president of the country and everybody like a winning goal.
As you should. You scored on the World Cup champions, and you're Moldova. The fucked up thing that France did against Moldova is like if you're listening to this podcast, you're like, what? There's a Moldova? There's a country? It sounds more
Great
like
wine.
a small town in a real country, or it sounds like a mood that somebody gets in. How was your day? Yeah, it's Moldova.
Very beautiful women in Moldova.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And then France, you're the World Cup champs, and the squad you put out against little Moldova, which is a country the size of my wallet. You put out Antoine Griezmann, Conte, Mbappe, Pogba, Giroud. Like,
even scored.
I
Unbelievable.
mean, I was like, you are some bullies. This is some bully shit. And they beat Moldova 4-1. They should have beat them more. 68% possession. And then today they played Iceland, which is, to me, is a tougher opponent.
Yeah.
Not today, but whenever they played.
Today?
It was today?
I think either yesterday or today. Yeah.
Yesterday or today, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
No, actually today.
Today? All right. You sure it's today now?
It says today.
Because I'm going to go with today. All right, today. So then, and they beat Iceland. Who gave them, I think they played Iceland in the World Cup, did they?
They played in Euros, I think. After they beat England, Iceland, they lost to France for sure in 2016 Euros in the quarterfinals. But look, 76% possession. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
France.
look at
76%.
Look at the players they got.
Wow.
And Umtiti scored. Giroud scored again. So Giroud's on like a 3 or 4 game French.
Umtiti said an interesting thing about French national team.
What did he say?
In the international week, that they have a secret weapon. They used a lot of perfumes. They put perfumes on before games.
In the World Cup?
No, generally. Like that's what they do in the French national team.
Why?
I don't know. To smell good? To distract the opponent? It's hard to say, but that's what hilarious. They do. Yeah.
Here's the thing
all of them, including Pogba.
So what? All of them?
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, Pogba wears like perfume before he gets in the shower. He'll put on perfume. But here's the thing about France. Like, listen, they're to me, no question, the best team in the world, and they're young.
Mm-hmm.
But when Zuzi gets in that team, and when Dembele isn't injured, it might be one of the greatest teams ever. Like, they should win the Euros. The only 2 teams that have a chance of beating them in the Euros is Belgium, and I will even put England ahead of Belgium.
What about Germany?
They're young. I don't believe in them yet. They did a great job against the Netherlands to come back.
Germany is always Germany. I would always put them as one of the favorites.
Yeah, you're right. And
even 2002 when they had a crappy team, 2002 World Cup, they went to the final. Nobody expected that. That was probably their worst team ever.
Yeah, they do that German shit. Yeah, they're German. Germany and Italy. And Italy can always come out of nowhere and surprise you.
However, last couple of tournaments, they didn't qualify to the last World Cup. They were eliminated 2 previous World Cups in the first round. So
no, I know, but they're still Italy. Sometimes, like when they won the tournament in America, no, they didn't. How crazy
is that? That 2006, when they won the World Cup, was the last time they came out of the group in the World Cup. 2006, they didn't come out. They were eliminated from the group.
Mm-hmm.
2010, 2014, and 2018 they didn't qualify.
Well, beware of them when they do come out the group. If they're in your tournament and they come out the group, then they can go to the finals.
They can,
because they were having a lousy time in the group stages when they played the World Cup in America, and then they came out the group and then they just went on a winning streak.
Yeah, but
and then they lost on penalty kicks.
I don't think it's a very good generation.
I don't think so either. But but they just remind me of when you said that thing about Germany, Italy also, that used to apply to Italy too. So we'll see. I don't think so, but it just feels familiar. What do you think about Pogba's response to about the Real Madrid. What did the reporter ask him? And then he answered, like, playing for Real Madrid, it's a great team. They have a good coach, Zidane. It would be his dream to.
He kind of suggested that he wants to leave. I think in between words, he kind of put it out there. I've heard that he's not very happy in Manchester. He doesn't like the city, and he would rather be.
Where'd you hear that from?
No, I mean people are talking that he didn't adjust. He didn't adjust to lifestyle. You know, like that he would rather be in France or in Italy or in Spain.
But he came back there.
They paid a lot of money.
Listen, a lot of Man U fans are mad, right? So, I'm not. But I think their anger is based in fear of losing him. So. When you fear losing something, you get angry at it, you know? And I'm not going to, and then some people saw, he posted a post on Instagram. I went, and I said, let me see these comments now. And people, angry Man U fans are like saying some ill shit to him. And it's like, hey, you don't want to lose him. Don't chase him off. I know he made the statement, but he was asked a question. And it's like, the media does this thing. They just show, like, Paul Pogba said this. But Paul Pogba was answering a question that was asked him. He didn't just say this on International Week. He didn't just say, hey, can I call a press conference so I can say this thing about Real Madrid? And he gave a real answer. And I think we have a chance to keep him. We haven't won in a while, right? So Madrid have won 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years.
No, four in a row.
No, it wasn't 4 in a row.
5 and 6, yeah.
I said, you just said 4 in a row, and then you said 5 and 6.
4 in a row?
So make up your mind up.
No, 4 in a row, but 5 and 6.
3 in a row.
4 in a row.
No, they won 3 in a row. I love beating you in a football argument. Cause
okay, let's check it out.
Yeah. Because Zidane's only been there 2.5 years when they won. He took over from Benitez, then he won that one, then he won but before that, Ancelotti won, and then they didn't win, and then they got rid of Ancelotti, and then Zidane, then they got Benitez, then whatchamacallit came, then Zidane came, and then they won 3 in a row. 3?
I'll have to check it out. I'm checking
look at it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I want you to say that I was right too.
Me? I know they're not winning this year for sure.
Yeah. They're out.
Because Tottenham is winning this year.
Holy boy, you're just how's it take you this long to look it up? 3 in a row. Madrid make more history. UEFA Champions League. That's it. 3 in a row. Yeah.
Well, what year is it?
It's not. This ain't the Di Stefano era. This is it. Have become
and 4 and 5?
The first club, and 4 and 5, I think. Yeah.
Okay, then 3.
Yeah, then 3. Yeah, but so my point is, like, they asked him a question, he answered it, and he said he's happy at Man U, and if Man U make it into the Champions League, right? If we make it into the Champions League, and next year or in the off season we make the right buys, we could keep this guy, because if we build a stronger team than Real Madrid does, then it's more beneficial for him to stay there. We have a better league than Spain.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
100%. So it's like, do you want to stay in the what's the most watched league? Is it ours?
Yeah, of course. The Spanish league deteriorated big time last 2 years. It's pretty much the worst season in years.
So maybe
all the other teams are falling apart.
Right. So maybe
Sevilla used to be good. Atletico Madrid used to be superior, and they were eliminated by Juventus, especially in the second game, quite easily. And it just doesn't feel right. Valencia is not that good anymore. I mean, the league itself is not interesting. Right. It's Barcelona, very dominant this year, and they don't even have their best team, I would say.
Yeah, they don't.
And they're clearly dominant.
Yeah. So the appeal is
Getafe is 4th, so Getafe might be in the Champions League. which is
Right.
crazy.
That's hilarious. So the thing is, so here's the draw. Real Madrid is a better a known entity than Man United right now, right? But the Premier League is a better entity than knocking my shit off, trying to keep Pogba, is a better entity than La Liga. So hopefully the fact that the Premier League is a bigger star than the La Liga will keep him there, and then we get the right player. We get Sancho, and they say if we don't get Sancho, we should get Hudson Odoi. You know, we just get the right. We need 2 or 3 pieces, and we will be lethal.
What if he's not happy there?
We'll find then he'll leave. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
You know.
But
But we could try to make him happy.
As a supporter of Man U,
Yeah.
from the moment Pogba came back,
Right.
and judging by his performances, what grade would you give him from 1 to 10 in terms of meeting the expectations you had for him when he came back to Man U? How did he do?
So I look at it like this. He comes back. Mourinho's the coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the year he comes back, we are in Europa League, right? So we're in the Europa League, right? And we win it,
Yeah.
right? And we win the League Cup, and if you want to say Charity Shield, we won that. So he won 3 things. First year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second year, you look at all the teams,
You finished second.
right? You look at all the teams. There's no team that was, more solid than Man City, and we came second. Like one guy cannot beat Man City. Like if you compare our team.
But you think he was that good? Really?
Listen, before he came, we were finished out of Europe or just in Europa. He came, we won Europa League, then we came second. Like, there was no way we were going to come first. So keep that in mind.
So if he leaves, you think that will be a
huge blow.
blow?
Yeah,
Okay.
because look at what we did. Before that, we were finishing 6th, 7th, or not even 6th, 7th. Then he comes, Europa League, we finished second, and this is the 3rd year, and now there's no question that we were being completely coached the wrong way. No question. So his value, he wasn't able to give you full value, and none of the players were able to give their full value because they were being coached amazingly, horrifically the wrong way by somebody who knows how to fucking coach. Like, there's no, as each game goes on, like, what do you think of Mourinho now that the results, based on the results, Solskjaer's getting from these same players and what he was getting in the first half of the year? Like, not what do you think of Mourinho on a whole, but just based on the first half of the season.
Yeah, something happened, as I told you a couple of weeks ago, something happened to Mourinho when he lost his sort of virginity to Guardiola, and when Guardiola started being this hot manager, not
Right.
Mourinho anymore, and something happened, and I think the one pattern that keeps repeating itself is him fighting with players, not getting along with players.
Mm-hmm.
Where before, when he was for the first time the coach of Chelsea, I read a book, I think, around like 2009, the players love Mourinho.
Right.
There's a famous scene when he won with Inter Milan and he's leaving. Materazzi was crying
Right.
that Mourinho is leaving. And Mourinho was because he was coming here to LA every summer anyway.
Right.
He was a different guy. He was a confident guy, but a nice guy,
Yeah,
with a little
definitely
charming
changed.
guy.
Right.
Something happened to him. He became a different guy.
Yeah. So
And he's more psychological, I would say, than tactical even. you
yeah,
know?
yeah, and it's like if I'm gonna blame Pogba because now Pogba was the best person. The best defense against Pogba was Mourinho. You know what I mean? And you want to play the way you know you're supposed to play, but there's this guy who has all these championships telling you no, and it's like, just imagine yourself in that position. So now you have the right coach, and you see the results. He's been probably the best player in the BPL since Solskjaer came. He's got more assists and goals. Like if you combine it, he's up in the top. So, yeah. And even when he's being coached shitty, he still won. So I think his value is amazing.
Yeah, I think he kind of opened eyes for people who criticized him with his World Cup performance when he led actually France as a leader of this team to the World Cup win, which some great players like Messi never were able to do.
And he beat Messi.
He did. Yeah.
He beat Messi, and he made a speech right before they walked out there against Argentina. That was one of his speech. We don't care about no Messi. We're going to go out there. We know how it feels to lose. We're going to leave everything on the field. It's like...
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah, speaking of Messi.
What about him?
They lose to Venice. Like, he's like, fuck this. I'm not fucking with this Argentina international shit no more. Fuck this. And he takes a break. And he's like, all right, I'm going to come back.
He comes back like 7 times already.
And he comes back.
It's embarrassing.
And they play Venezuela, who has never qualified for a World Cup.
Yeah, it's Francisco Ramos' team.
And Venezuela beats him. Like, I was like, I feel... How do you feel bad for the...
Francisco is still celebrating, I think.
How do you feel bad for the greatest player in the world?
He's not the greatest player in the world.
Yeah, he is.
Cristiano Ronaldo proved it with results, I think.
Listen,
I mean, this is
debatable.
pretty obvious.
Like how? What's the results?
Winning with Portugal, for example. Winning 3
Cristiano
Champions
Ronaldo,
Leagues in a row.
Cristiano Ronaldo was... But Messi's... How many Champions Leagues has Messi won?
Ronaldo won more.
He's won at least 3.
And Ronaldo at least 4.
Yeah, so it's
5,
like,
sorry. He won 1 with Man U, so he won 5.
Right. So I think... Let's see how many Champions Leagues does Messi have.
Plus, he has all the individual records in the Champions League as well. He won with Portugal. Now he went to Juventus, and he might win again with 3rd different team.
They're not going to win. Juventus not going to win.
They can. Why not?
I don't think so.
They're in the mix for sure.
Yeah, they're in the... Yeah.
You can't definitely say that they can't win it. Although we'll see, because he got injured today with when he played for Portugal, he got injured. So I don't know how serious is that.
He's got 4 Champions Leagues, 5 Copa del Reys, 3 European Super Cups, 3 World Cups, 3 World Club Cups, 8 league titles.
But that's from April 2018, so it doesn't include the last one, so it's 5 for Ronaldo.
Right, but you said with results. Messi has these results. Ronaldo doesn't have 8 league titles. You trade things. And then I can argue, I want to give Ronaldo that the Euro title, but that motherfucker was injured 15 minutes into that game and was taken out.
But
the final.
He was great in the semifinal against Wales and before, and plus
it was Wales.
Plus Messi couldn't even win Copa America. He missed the penalty when it mattered. He was in so many different finals. He was in the World Cup final, 2 Copa America finals, and nothing.
He made it to a World Cup final. Ronaldo hasn't.
With much better team.
Yeah, but again, it's like, who's the fucking coach? Coaching is important. It's like, who's...
Tata Martino was the coach. He won with Atlanta United, MLS Cup last season. Come on, man. He's a great coach now. He's the coach of Mexico.
That's where all great coaches come to MLS.
Yeah. Frank de Boer now, another one.
Yeah.
And they're losing every game.
So, all right. So and speaking of MLS, you were at the game on Saturday. I was at the game.
Yeah.
We played. I'm saying we now. I'm becoming slowly
you're becoming a fan. Yeah, I see you booing at the Real Salt Lake on Instagram.
Yeah, you got to, man. Like when your team feeds you, In case you get great seats, thank you, Seth. You know,
Yeah.
you get on board. Like you help the cause.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I don't blame you. A lot of people became LAFC fans because it's really interesting whether the project they're having there for sure.
Right. If you're in LA, whether you like soccer or not, especially if you do, go to LAFC, go to one game, and see how you feel about it. I've been to Laker games. I've been to Clipper games. I've been
Galaxy
to
games.
Galaxy games. And I don't know about other city sports, but when you go to these games, the fans are kind of like, they're just there. You know what I mean? They're just like, they're not participating. But when you go to like a LAFC game, it's like you have agreed to join in with a soccer karaoke experience. You know what I mean? And you are magnetically gonna be committed to, by the fans around you, to being entertained by the team on the field and by the LAFC 3-2-5-2 fans in the stands who are, and I hope I said that right, who are going to be chanting and singing their asses off. You have no choice but to become a part of this thing. And it's an experience. It's just an experience. That's the word for it.
Yeah.
And who doesn't want an experience?
Yeah, and the team is really good. They play attacking football. They make mistakes defensively, but they play attractive football. Bob Bradley wants to play that way. He talks about it all the time. And they have Carlos Vela, who is definitely arguably the best player in the league right now.
Latif Blessing, who you have doubts about. What's the name of the defender who scored the winning goal?
Walker Zimmerman, who looks like Captain America, yeah.
Yeah, tall.
Very tall,
what is he, 8 feet?
good-looking guy.
He's 8 feet?
8'8".
8'8", yeah. He scored a Beckenbauer's goal.
Yeah,
like
with his feet.
You know, with his feet. You know, and
in the 92nd minute
of the game, like fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
So
very, very talented guy, growing.
How old is he?
He's, I would guess around 23, 24.
LAFC. Let me see if this.
He was with Dallas first, and they got him in
25.
For center back, it's young.
Good. 6'3".
Yeah, for center back, it's young.
Yeah.
He's just breaking into a national team, and he should be a better version of Carlos Bocanegra, the way he plays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Zimmerman scores and stops. It was an amazing goal. So, listen, I've shit on the MLS before, and a part of it probably was, maybe it was because I went to games that they didn't have atmosphere, but this game has atmosphere. This team has atmosphere. The whole way the organization is run is so professional and down to the detail that it is worth. And the people come from all around. You get off the train, you see people coming from all directions, and you converge in this stadium, 22,000 seat stadium, and you have a good time.
True, although
Uh-oh.
LAFC are, I would say, kind of not what MLS became recently. I think LAFC are sort of the bright spot, and there are issues I'm seeing because like very good players, name players are leaving MLS and going to other countries. And I would say the quality, the star power of the league is a little bit less than what it used to be. I think there are a little bit too many teams. I think the talent is watered down between teams, and I don't think it's a great season so far for the league.
You know?
Yeah, and some teams are having real problems, like, for example, New York Red Bulls. They used to always have a lot of marquee players. Thierry Henry played there. And I read the story that they're losing the fan base. Same with NYFC. They don't have a one marquee player. They had 3 2 years ago in Pirlo, Villa, and Lampard.
Let me ask you, as far as Red Bulls, they also added another team. Did that team start yet in the MLS? They added another New York team, right?
No, they're just 2 New York teams.
So it's Red Bulls and who?
And NYFC.
And when did they start?
They started like 4 years ago with
4 years ago.
Lampard, Pirlo, and David Villa.
Right.
Yeah, and they don't have that star anymore. Jovinko left.
But that's the thing. It's
Alphonso Davies left. You know, like you
But
have one Rooney, you have Vela, and a couple of other guys. That's it. Nani in Orlando.
But listen, but it sounds like bad management. Is it like so? I was talking to somebody that, in the club. I went to the training facility on a Friday just to look around.
Really?
I went down there. And LAFC wanted Ibrahimovic. And I think you told me that story
Ibrahimovic wanted to go to LAFC.
Right. And they wanted him.
They didn't want him.
No, from what I hear, they wanted him too. But then at the last minute, the guy at the top was like, no, because then the identity of the team
exactly. That's what happened.
would be Ibrahimovic.
Yeah.
So at the last minute, they said no. So then he went to the Galaxy. And then now they are LAFC, not Ibrahimovic team.
Exactly.
And they wouldn't have to reestablish himself after he's left. So the teams that you mentioned that aren't doing great, they need to make good decisions like that. They need to be as detailed as LAFC is. Like when you told me that they sent their fans to Europe to learn from other cheering groups. They need to do whatever. And then how I spoke to, I think it's Sibathia, the Persian guy that played last season. I asked him, what is it about LAFC that you like about it? And why is their organization so good? And he was like, he came from a winning team, a team that won the league. And he said, they asked me, what did that team do to create the atmosphere that you guys were able to win? And he told them everything. They debriefed him. And he said, down to how the other team treated their wives. And if the players' wives were happy, then the players' lives were happier. So LAFC even adopted some of those things so that the players' wives for the LAFC are happy, and it creates a better coexistence with the players, with the team. And I just think those teams, like, you mentioned, they haven't done those things. And they went for the big name. Now the big name's gone. And it's like, because there's other teams like Seattle Sounders started, they're good.
And they don't have names right now.
Right. And Portland, like, they have their rivalry.
And they don't have names.
And those teams are flourishing. So it's just like anywhere else. Maybe it's just like anywhere else. Like some organizations within the league are run good and some aren't.
Yes, but with the exception of LAFC and Atlanta United, which have the greatest. Seattle is pretty good too. But Atlanta United is by far the best fan base. It's like 60,000 people every game, and the city lives. You can even see the Twitter followers. Nobody has as many Twitter followers as Atlanta United. It's the only example in the professional sports in America where a soccer team completely overshadowed an NFL team that was a big team with a big fan base. Pretty much Atlanta United took a lot of Falcons fans from the Falcons. And they're now the biggest team in Atlanta. They're the biggest franchise in Atlanta. Not the Hawks, not the Braves. Maybe a little bit the Braves are like close second, but not the Falcons. It's the Atlanta United.
All right, don't argue with me. I like this.
So LAFC, no, I'm not arguing. So LAFC and Atlanta are doing things
I feel like I'm being told off.
But no, but the league itself, how it was the American mentality. People in this country, they want names, they want stars. The fact that the league is losing stars,
But
they want to be the best. They don't understand why it's not the best soccer league in the world. We're in America. Why we don't have the best soccer league in the world? A lot of people still don't understand that.
But you don't. Listen, this league has been around for a long time. You don't need the best. Their fan base has only grown. That's why they added more teams. You don't need it to be the Brazilian league is not the best league in the world because all their players go to Europe. The Argentinian league is not the best team in the world, even though they have some of the best players, just like Brazil, just because their players go to Europe. You just want a good, entertaining thing. And maybe one day something crazy will happen. Maybe some players will stay and you could compete with the other leagues in the world, but you just don't have to. But there's the LAFC and the Atlanta and those other teams we mentioned. They just showed me that there's a way to be a really good league even if you don't have the best players. And people have got to do their homework. That's all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, is there anything else internationally you want to talk about? Any other teams?
Well, of course, Poland won 2 games, but heavily criticized because they didn't play good football at all. And
Who did you play?
We played Austria away. We won 1-0.
Yes. That's good.
Yeah, but we didn't play well.
You never play well. You haven't looked good since I've known you.
That's the best that we've looked in 30 years.
Well, okay. So that's your thing, not looking good. Ugly wins.
And there was a super ugly win against Latvia. Latvia that's 135th, I think, in the FIFA rankings. They're below Lesotho. And the funny thing is, like, all of those players play in Poland, but in like lower teams. And until 75th minute, we couldn't break them down. And
Lewandowski scored?
Lewandowski scored, yeah. And then Glick scored. But Latvia is like
they're not good.
One of the worst teams in Europe, and the country itself is on the verge of. Here's what's happening. I read a very interesting story. Here's what's happening in Latvia. They were 2.5 million population. Now it's 1.6, and it's decreasing because a lot of people left. There are no young Latvians being born, so there is a danger that the country will cease to exist.
Why are people leaving?
In 50 years? Because they're part of the European Union and they can find better jobs elsewhere.
Oh, okay, I see.
So it was already a small country, and it's on a way to pretty much being out of people.
And you guys struggle to beat a disappearing country.
They're the disappearing country. They're the one disappearing country in Europe. And we couldn't beat them until 75th minute. So people are asking for... The guy who's the coach of a Polish national team is kind of a similar story than Southgate. Because he used to be a very popular player. He was the captain of the national team.
What was his name? What's his name?
Brzęczek.
Never heard of him. Why'd you laugh?
Because it's a difficult name to pronounce for somebody who's not Polish.
Brzęczek?
Brzęczek.
Brzęczek. Yeah. That's easy. Brzęczek. That's fine.
Yeah, he was the captain of the team that in 1992, that was like the most famous Polish team in the last 40 years, was the 1992 Olympic team that finished second.
Olympic?
Yeah.
You guys count that?
Yeah, we lost to Spain in the final in the stoppage time. Guardiola was the captain of the Spanish team and Brzęczek was the captain of the Polish team.
Okay.
So there's a lot of nostalgia about that team in Poland because they actually played attractive football. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they beat Italy 3-0 in the tournament.
Yeah, it's the Olympics.
And then Qatar.
Man,
and Kuwait.
This sounds desperate. This sounds real desperate, bro.
So Brzęczek is kind of the similar story as Southgate. Not really proven club coach, and he got this job from president of the federation, arguably the best Polish player ever, Zbigniew Boniek. He kind of got this job as a favor, and he's not producing good work. There's a huge potential.
How long has he been coach?
Since the World Cup.
Got the win. Like, he has to make it gel a little bit so that they can play better. It's just calm down. But you told me Polish people are haters anyway.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
So, like, they hate on their own.
Yeah, they hate all the time.
Yeah.
So there was so much negativity after those 2 wins. But when you look at the table, we actually are one of the only 3 teams in Europe that won both games. And people are super upset in Poland. They want him fired. They want players to be suspended.
You've done what France has done and England has done. Yeah.
Only.
Yeah.
Portugal 2 draws.
Portugal won. They beat Egypt, but that was a friendly.
No, they drew. I watched the game actually. They had a game against Serbia. They missed so many chances. It was 1-1, and Ronaldo got injured, so he left the game.
Okay. All right. So did we talk about America?
Yeah, but finishing about Poland.
Oh, sorry, my bad, Poland.
We have, like 3 of the top strikers. Lewandowski is the best striker in Germany. Piątek is second best striker in Italy, and Milik is the 4th best striker in Italy. So there is a huge offensive potential somehow not being utilized. But so people are upset. They think here's a problem also with the part of a Polish mentality, but it's not just Polish mentality, but it's very much Polish mentality. Is the fact that it's either black or white. Like, it's almost like a bipolar fan base, bipolar attitude. Like, they either think the team is terrible and there's no talent on the team, or they think we should be the world champions. And right now, the national, the mindset, what people believe in Poland, they believe that we are one of the best teams in the world. That's what's the belief. And that somehow we're underachieving. That's what people believe. I'm telling you.
I hear you.
That's what people think.
That's
That's why they're so upset
All right.
after winning 2 games.
Sounds very, very arrogant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Alright.
the mentality.
Have they never heard of Ronaldo or Messi or just,
They think
I mean-
Piontek is the best striker in Europe right now, and Lewandowski close second, and that's it.
they ever heard of Harry Kane?
Only if I tell them.
So they don't get TV from other places. Is this what they're basing this on?
No, it's just a very specific patriotism, Very
Alright.
specific patriotism. Right now they're on the high, as I said, bipolar. But after the World Cup, they're on the low. Like nobody can play. Right now they think that this is a team of superstars.
All right, let's see. Now, what do you think about America? Who did we play?
Hard to say because right now they're trying to find players. Definitely, the Wea Jr. is an interesting player. I would say that he is a talent. If
Did
he
he
can
play?
supplement Pulisic, that's a good starting point.
Right. So let me see. We just beat Panama, right?
I think Ecuador.
Oh, yeah, Ecuador. Let me see. Yeah, down here, Ecuador 1-0, and then Chile tomorrow. But that's a friendly
Yeah,
because we're not
it's
in
all
the
friendlies.
Yeah, Ecuador was a friendly.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Gilern yesterday, and he said he watched the Ecuador game, but there were some. They played, I think, 3 German American players, and they're new, So I have to watch. I was looking for the U.S. game so I can refamiliarize myself with this team that's being rebuilt. I couldn't find the game because we're going through a rebuilding thing, and I want to find out, like, what is this team about? Who are their players? But if they got 3 new young German players that are American, and this is what they're doing is they're going down the same avenues to find players that Klinsmann did. And that's, even though Klinsmann didn't do a great job as a coach, he did find a place for us to get players from that grew up in a country where soccer was their number 1 sport. So Pulisic, did he grow up in America and then go to Germany? So he's
I know that for sure he started playing in Germany. I don't know if he grew up here. I would have to check that out. But like his football background is German.
It's German. So, but there are like several players from the Klinsmann era that he found in Germany. So what we need to do, what basically,
Brooks, yeah.
So basically, what Klinsmann did is he found the kids that American soldiers fucked. American soldiers were in Germany, and they fucked, and they made kids, and the kids grew up German, but they have an American background, so they can play. So we have to find where else in soccer playing countries do we have soldiers that have been fucking and get not just tap Germany, but where else do we have American troops that are fucking the women of that country, and we can be like, hey, we need you to come play for America.
Well, I'll tell you this: if they produce so many German players, I mean, that means the American soldiers have no standards. Just kidding.
What are you talking about? My point is, do we have a base in Argentina? Do we have a
that's
base?
Better base for sure.
Do
Brazil,
Do we have a base in Brazil? Like, I don't know, but
we have bases in Poland.
Do we have? All right, and you guys, let me see. Where are there American military bases abroad? All right, I spell abroad wrong probably. So we got a base in France. So I know some American soldiers fuck some French women. Russia?
I wouldn't count on that now.
All right.
So far, Russia, if you wanna use that word, did that to America on a couple of occasions recently.
We have troops in 150 countries.
Yeah.
We should have one of the best teams in the world. U.S. military personnel by country. Albania. Nah, we don't. Austria. We got Belgium.
Yeah.
We got a base. We got soldiers.
There's a lot of potential terrorism danger in Belgium. So yeah.
So we should be getting some players from Belgium.
But like that's a good theory. But someone already explored that theory in the last 10 years and very well, as a matter of fact. And that's why Klinsmann did that, because Klinsmann learned that where Klinsmann learned that.
Where?
In Germany. Who adopted more players?
Yeah, because their team they have Sane
immigrants.
And, yeah.
Who is Özil?
Gundogan.
Who is Gundogan? Who is Sane? Who is Boateng?
Ganabi.
Who is Boateng?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're even
they're not German. There are maybe like 2 German players on the team.
Yeah, Noor and they kicked Muller off.
And Royce. That's it.
Royce. Yeah. Croatia, semi-finalists in the World Cup. We need to find who did our American soldiers fuck in Croatia.
The problem is that
Denmark.
They don't have the good scouting network. That's the problem.
Well, I'm telling them now. We need to send some scouts to the Czech Republic, to Denmark, to Belgium. We already got Germany covered.
Denmark, it's not a good generation of players.
Nah, but Denmark has some good players. Italy, it's not the great time.
Giuseppe Rossi was American.
But he was American. But we got Netherlands. You mean we could have Netherlands players on our team?
And I think there was one player. Let me think about it.
Then there's got to be more. It wasn't just one dude fucking a Netherlands chick. It had to be his buddies had to do it too. And those kids might be playing soccer.
Same story, even more than with German. Like the Dutch women are not known. They're known for hospitality, but they are not known for beauty.
I disagree with you.
Disagree with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been to Holland.
You've been to Poland, maybe then?
No.
You sure you've been to Holland?
No. Poland has beautiful women.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay. I'll take that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we need to get on this. So scouts, these are the countries you need to get to: Belgium, Croatia, Czech Republic.
I would just go to Brazil.
Denmark. Well, we don't have no bases there. But yeah. So, all right, let me just go to Premier League. I just want to... So the biggest match, Liverpool plays Spurs.
Oh, boy.
At Liverpool. What do you think are your chances of... I mean, this is crazy because now, right, if you lose, you're third. You have 61 points. And Man U wins and Arsenal wins. Arsenal can pass you. We can tie with you. This is not good.
Well, 1 point in the last 4 games, but at the same time, quarterfinals of the Champions League. So it looks like the goal is to win the Champions League.
So you have no belief. You don't believe you could beat Liverpool.
We can tie the game. I think we can tie the game. But it has to be some luck involved. I mean, the reason why I think we can maybe not beat them but get a tie, because Liverpool were not playing that great in the last couple of weeks neither. So that's that.
They won their last 2.
Yeah, but they don't play very well.
They won their last 2, and they went to Germany and they beat Bayern. So
they did. I think they did have a very good game against Bayern, but so did we. We beat Borussia Dortmund in style, both games. So we won both games pretty easily.
I would say.
So it's pretty much a similar situation that in the league both teams were not hot in the last month. I would say Tottenham was more visible because of the results. Liverpool somehow pulled through a couple of results when they didn't play well, because they didn't play well. I watched those games. And for Liverpool, it's a do or die. For Tottenham, maybe not yet, but for Liverpool, it's a do or die. If Liverpool loses this game, it's over.
Listen, you got 1 win.
Here's in 5 games.
Here's the only points you got in the league in your last 5 games. 1 win and a draw. The rest of them were losses. Liverpool, 2 draws and 3 wins in their last 5.
Yeah, but not
Plus
convincing wins. Like they beat Fulham 2-1.
But you know, sometimes these little teams can give you trouble. You just have to get over the hump.
Pattern. Since they lost this first game against City, they're not the same team, and they're not the same team in the league. They're playing scared. They're not confident, and City is walking away with the title. So there will be a huge pressure on Liverpool to win this game. That's why I think we can surprise them, especially having quick players playing counter-attacking football. I would say I give 20% chance for Tottenham to win this game. I give 50% for a draw chances and 30% for Liverpool to win this game.
How is Man City walking away with the title when Liverpool is ahead of them by 2 points?
But one game more.
1 game in hand, but 2 points.
Yeah, but City are winning every game, so.
If they win the game. If they're winning every game, if they win every game. But they might not.
I still think City are on the better path than the Liverpool right now. They're just hitting all cylinders.
I'm not saying no.
And I actually think we have a good chance to get a point there, yeah. I think we'll get a point there.
All right, you think
that's
get
my
a point there?
prediction. I think it'll be 1-1.
I want them to lose so they can come back to the pack and that they can be there for the taking. So 3rd and 4th will be up for grab. So I don't like Spurs anyway, but this is a really good time to not like them. You know what I mean?
All right.
This is a really good time, like, for me to root for Liverpool and for Klopp. Because if you lose, then instead of Man U fighting for 4th place with 3 teams, we're fighting for 2 places with 4 teams, and the odds are better. So that's why I want you to lose.
Well, we have another game against City away, so this is also the game we need to get points.
Yeah. So I'm going down this list to see if there's any. That's the marquee game for the week. I mean, Man U has City. They play Fulham, so I feel bad for Scott Parker. Yeah, and then that's Liverpool, Tottenham, and Arsenal plays Newcastle.
Tricky game.
All right, I agree. Tricky game for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I hope Newcastle can pull that off. And then Man U versus Watford, they are not easy. They probably have a lot of rested players that didn't go out of town for international week. But a lot of our players didn't go either. So I think Rashford came back. I think our players want to focus on the league. So I like what they did. We might have to rest Pogba.
When?
Coming back from international duty, he might not start. But we'll see. Cardiff, Chelsea. That should be an easy win for Chelsea.
But Chelsea's not playing well neither. So.
Yeah, you're right. They're not. But yeah, I think Sarri's lost him. I think he's lost him. I'd be surprised.
In a different way than Mourinho. I don't think he's hated. They just don't respect him enough, I think.
I don't know.
They just don't think he's got what it takes to win games in the Premier League. I don't think they just respect him as a winner. Where with Mourinho, it was just a different situation. They just didn't like him. They didn't like his voice in the locker room. They didn't like his arrogance.
So you think they like Sarri's voice?
I think they like that. For them, Sarri is like this guy. Like, it's like a little pushover.
He's not making them take this serious.
Him seriously. They take serious their jobs because it's professional soccer. But I don't think they take him seriously. Like, this is the guy who will lead us to titles. No, I don't think they trust him.
I can't put my finger on it, but all I know is that David Luiz takes breaks in the middle of games.
Oh yeah,
in the middle of set plays.
Oh, he always did.
Yeah, and he always did. And
like pure talent, he's amazing. But his problem for him was always to stay consistent. And I'll give you another example of inconsistent player, because he played very well for Netherlands in those last couple of games. He's an example of a great talent who can be brilliant occasionally, but you wouldn't trust him long term. Depay.
You know what's funny about the Netherlands? Because they just lost to Germany.
Yeah.
Right? In the international week. But they went down 2-0, and then they tied it 2-2 and then Germany scored. So it's funny because Man U has been through a crazy ass time in the last few years. 3-4 managers, right? And we've had Di Maria there.
Yeah.
Falco, Ibrahimovic. It's like if somebody Depay, Blind. Like if somebody was in a coma, right?
Alexis Sanchez was there at some point.
It was. If somebody was in a coma, and then they wake up, they was in a coma the last 4 years, and we tell them the players we had, they'll be like, so we had Di Maria, Ibrahimovic, Pogba, Sanchez, Depay, Daley Blind, and Falco. So he's like, so how many leagues did we win? And they'll be like, none. And like, how did we not win anything?
Rooney was still there.
Agent Rooney.
He just scored a hat trick in the MLS.
It's a MLS again. So you're like,
you should buy him back.
It's just been. I'm just going to ignore that. It's just been like a in and out party, like a rotation of like craziness. And now we're finally settling down. But I'm trying to think of the point I was trying to make. I forgot it. I'm not even going to try to remember. But when I was watching Holland play, it's just weird because Depay didn't work out for us, but he's a starter for Holland. And they got rid of Blind, and he's a starter for Holland. And it's like, if they can start for Holland, they should be able to start for Man U. And we had them. And we don't have them any longer. So it's like, did we do what a lot of teams do sometimes and make mistakes with players? I always liked Blind.
Damiani's playing for Italy.
He is?
Yeah, he is.
They must be desperate. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying he's desperate because he doesn't play at all for us. He's got to be the most rested.
I don't think he's there anymore. I think he's on another team right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think you got rid of him.
Let me see. He's got to be the most rested international in the history of internationals. He's 6 feet. Manchester United FC.
He's still at Manchester United.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. He has. If it wasn't for international matches, that motherfucker wouldn't play.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't even know if there's anything else to discuss. Like,
well, you have to, when you mentioned Holland, like Holland they have some really good young players, and finally I even talked to De Boer about it. He's very confident about this new generation. Yeah, they lost to Germany, but they won another game, and I think they're back on track. I think and Ajax is in the quarterfinals. They beat Real Madrid, in style. They beat them in a great fashion. So I think Holland is actually back.
They're getting better, but I don't think they're back. They're on their way to being back.
The Ligt, the Young, those guys, they'll be big time players.
We'll see. They got Van
and you
Dijk.
remember Tadic from Premier League. He wasn't the type of player that he is for Ajax. You watched the games against Real Madrid?
Yeah.
He was impressive.
Yeah. What country is he from?
Serbian.
Serbian. All right. Trying to think of just going through this list. Yeah, I mean, Southampton has Brighton Hove. That's going to be tough for both teams. Wolves play Burnley. That's tough for Burnley. Wolves could beat them 1-0. Burnley's got 4 losses in a row. And Chelsea plays Cardiff. Chelsea, if they're smart, they take these points.
By the way, I just read a story today about Cardiff that they're trying still to not pay for Emiliano Sala. It's a big dispute. It went to FIFA now. FIFA will make a decision in 2 weeks because they try to prove that the contract they signed wasn't submitted to FIFA for a final approval on time, so that it's not valid. That the contract is not valid. But it doesn't look they have a very good case. It looks like they'll have. It's 18 million pounds. Like that's a lot of money for someone who's not there anymore. It's.
I mean, he wouldn't.
It's tough.
He wouldn't. It's tough
for a team like Cardiff.
Yeah, for a team like Cardiff, but if you didn't buy him, he wouldn't have been flying back from your team
Yeah.
to go back.
So they try to use this little legal.
This sounds weak, bro.
It sounds weak, yeah. It sounds desperate for sure because they see that they
'Cause they
might
don't
go.
wanna they're gonna lose that money.
And especially if they go down, they're in big trouble
Yeah,
because they will not have that money back from the TV rights.
yeah. Well, you do. You get like 3 years of premiership money while you're down there.
I think it's just a percentage.
Nah, you do. I spoke to my friend in England. He told me how
Really?
it worked. Yeah, because he's a Villa fan and Villa went down. So you get like 3 years of premiership money.
Okay.
And it goes down a little bit each year, but it's still more than, you know. It's like some residuals and shit.
Okay. Well, they're not getting any residuals from Emiliano Sala.
No, not at all.
So they're trying to to not pay.
I understand.
But Nantes at the same time for Nantes it's a lot of money, so Nantes are not giving. It's kind of a bad taste of a quarrel over a dead body, literally. But that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, it's
and
bad.
FIFA will have to make decision.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get it. So hey, anything else you want to say? Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, my interview with Lukas Podolski will be in New 442. I will be in new season of Brockmire that comes back on IFC next month. Did a couple of very cool projects the last month. Some of them confidential. I can't talk about it. One is a Marvel project. So
why do people say that?
Because we'll be in trouble.
Because I'm doing a What if you're in it?
I can't talk about it yet.
No, but you could say the name of it, right?
No.
Like I've never worked on a show. Like I see the people do this on the internet all the time. I just booked something. I can't tell you what it is. It's confidential. Meanwhile, shows are made because they want people to know about it so everybody can see it. And I've never worked on a show that I couldn't tell people about. So I just don't understand that.
Okay, I'll tell you that. So, and some of those people, I agree with you, are pretentious and they're just trying to make themselves look more important. But let's say you work for the company called Marvel.
But you tell me it's for Marvel.
No, but let's say you work on something that is by Marvel.
Right.
You have to sign an NDA. You can't talk about it. You can't talk what the project is. What's the name of the project?
I think it means you can't tell the details of it, but if you have a role in it, you could say the name of the project.
No.
Or you just don't want to take any chances.
No, they at least that's what they say.
What did they say? Don't tell nobody you're in this?
Nothing, nobody.
All right. I've never worked on a project like that. They want you to it out so people are talking about it. People tell people so they tell the next person so people are on the lookout for it.
Brockmire, I can tell. It's episode 3. You'll see me. I have a nice, cool scene with Hank Azaria. Let's see what happens.
How long's Brookmire been on? I never heard of it.
It's season 3. It's actually a very cool show because he plays a sports writer. He plays a troubled sports writer, a baseball writer. So it's.
Oh shit! Aaron watches that.
Yeah.
You do?
You do?
Watch it?
Yeah, it's great.
It's great?
Yeah, it's really funny.
What's it about? Because he has no idea. I can tell he has no idea. He's just
it's about baseball, right?
He just read.
Yeah, he's a baseball announcer who's like a drunk and does all sorts of drugs and falls apart on air. But then season 2, he's got like a amazing podcast that everyone's listening to now. So.
Oh shit.
So it's great. So now on a podcast, we talk about a guy who's having a podcast on TV.
So he got fired and then he started his own podcast and it got popular?
Yeah. He like drunkenly told stories from his partying and it became popular, yeah.
Oh, shit. All right. And Hank Azaria is a good actor.
Oh, amazing.
Right. And you're watching it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
So you're going to see this mug.
Yeah. I hope so. I hope I will be in it.
All right, that's dope.
It's episode 3.
Episode 3. So what's the name of it? Brookmire?
Brookmire.
So check Martin out on Brookmire. He can tell you about it.
This one I can.
This one he can tell you. The
other
Marvel one, you can't see
but
shit.
I can tell about other project because that I can tell. I did it in the one that I did in Syracuse, New York. I can tell because it's actually a sports related thing. It's a sports movie. It's a hockey movie, and whoever likes hockey and knows anything about hockey, they'll be excited about it because the producers put in the film son of Wayne Gretzky and the daughter of Mario Lemieux. And Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux had the biggest rivalry in history of hockey. So, and their kids are now playing in a hockey movie together. So that's
Two sons?
no. It's a son of Wayne Gretzky and a daughter of.
Are they playing
Mario Lemieux.
hockey against each other?
No, they just have roles in the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
I don't.
cool.
I don't think it's a hockey role.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. Here's some shit I can tell you about. Follow me on Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic. On Twitter at Ian Edwards Comic. Check out my album 100% Half-Ass. It's available on iTunes. Why do I always forget the name? Spotify and CD Baby. And yeah, on Twitter and on Instagram, just follow me and I'll make you aware of my shows. You know what? This week, I'm going to try to make the effort to get my website back up so I'll have official dates up there because I do have some weekends that I'm going to be playing at other places and I need to get that together. All right?
I'll also say, I'll add, you can also find Ian at LAFC Stadium.
Oh,
But if
yeah.
you're an opposite player, you might get booed.
Oh, you
by him,
will.
yeah.
No, there's no might. You will. You will get booed. Shout out to Seth. Shout out to LAFC, well-run organization. If you ever get a chance to come see LAFC, check out LAFC. All right. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank
Good looking
you.
out. Appreciate it. Thanks for knowing something about Brookmeyer.
More than I do. Yeah.
More than Martin does. Should have read with him. All right. 1,